when I got down to Portsmouth, I was doing opiates while I was there, but somehow I survived and got to the crew leader position of an internship that was funded through Obama's stimulus package in 2008. I graduated college in 2009. Everything had just fallen apart. And I remember part of the stimulus package, like the states could apply for, whatever department, and it was the forestry, the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, Division of Forestry and Wildlife or something like that. I gotta find a trash can to throw this in because I don't want to. Come on. Walk with this bag of shit in my hand the whole time. Anyways, so I moved down to Portsmouth, Ohio, after I graduated in June of 2009. I just threw that randomly and somebody's gonna come out. What are you doing on my property? Hey, what are you doing there? I always do that when I can. Like, as I'm getting older, I'll mess with people as I'm driving around, and then I'll see somebody doing something as I'm walking. Hey, what are you doing there? But when I got to Portsmouth, it was like a 6-month program, and the first 2 months of it was to decide who was going to be the crew leader. And the state forest that I worked at, there was maybe 27 people there in that state forest. I think it was like 103 applicants or participants spread across I don't know how many different state forests in southern Ohio. Maybe there were some in northern, I don't know. But anyways, Nate Jester, okay, big shouts out to Nate Jester, Matt Morgan, Levi Morgan. I'll put a crazy story out there in the ether about this guy, which I shouldn't do. But that happened while I was living in Portsmouth. Who else? The other team leaders, they were... I don't remember their damn names. It was like a heavier, kind of chubby, burly. He had a beard. And then there was like, what was his name? Carl? I don't know, like a country boy leading another one of the teams. So our 27 participants were split up into 3 teams, one of which I was a crew leader, which I was able to use on my resume when I applied for the position with Davey in South Chicago. And it was actually at a job fair through that internship that I was able to, I got a call back from Jeff Cowan. Big shouts. I'll do another walk with about, my time out in Chicago, probably specifically Davie. But in southern Ohio, Portsmouth, which at one point was under consideration to be the capital of Ohio. I guess it was so economically prosperous at one point that they were thinking about. Anyways, things really went downhill. It's just kind of like this little town on the Ohio River where, it's kind of, it deteriorated into that kind of lost generation that I mentioned in my other video, where opiates kind of wiped away a whole generation of people of, which age class I could have been. I'm really kind of fortunate to have gotten out of it before this whole fentanyl thing came around. But I mean, the time that we spent in Shawnee State Forest was, it was magical. There was winding roads up in the hills, southern Ohio, Portsmouth. What's the name of the town? Maybe West Portsmouth, and then there was another little town. There was a golf course down there on that main stretch of road, but just along the Ohio River, kind of like Kentucky, West Virginia, all those kind of Appalachian foothill communities that fell into kind of that pill mill, hillbilly heroin situation. Very, very sad stuff. But for the chain of events that came of that, for me too, it was actually Phil Descends who's going to get his own walk with. Phil Descends, or no, his own tribute. Yeah, I got all these different projects that I got going on right now. And really, this is all just an attempt to document my just fucking normal guy, you know. My kid's mom's trying to blow up my shit in fucking court right now. Anyways, back to Portsmouth. I lived with Dave Benninger. I flicked a bottle cap and killed a pixel in his brand new, this guy had just gotten this brand new television. And we used to go home, we would drink, we would smoke, I would do opiates, and he put me up on Metalocalypse, bunch of like shows on Adult Swim, Cartoon Network, like what was some other ones that he put me on? There were a few of those. We would just watch like these whole series of cartoons from, season 1. Great times in that. It was like a half house that the owner of the house lived on the other half. They had divided it right down the middle, and we were so lucky to have found like this normal house in fucking Trailer Parkville. And then I remember, so it was 6 months down in the hills, and on like the 5th month, at some point, we were out like driving around smoking a blunt or some shit like that, and we found this like completely normal neighborhood, because the whole time that we were in, these foothills of Appalachia and southern Ohio and Portsmouth and surrounding communities, like, man, none of this feels like anything, that he and I grew up with. I think he was from like outside of Cleveland and I was from Youngstown, and so it's kind of suburban city life. And then we found this neighborhood like 2 weeks before we left. Like, seems like normal people live here. Too little, too late all the time. There's a ton of other stories. We went, Brad. I couldn't remember Brad's name in another one of my videos where I was talking about the people on my team. It was Steve Cox, Dave Benninger, and Brad. But we went hunting with him. He lived in like Athens, or maybe just a little bit south of Athens. So I remember we drove over there. We went hunting. We went out to the bar with him actually right when we got into town. There's a country boy, lives out in a trailer in a spot, and they pushed a few does out of this like finger of woods. This is my first time, hunting at all, really. I think I had gone like hunting maybe twice before, but shotgun in hand, they're like, look, we're gonna push these deer out of this finger over here. There's a road up here, a little access road that comes through. They're gonna have to hop across that road. Be ready. So I'm in the road, I'm ready. I put my gun down, I don't know what the hell for, but end up like 2 does go jumping across the road. Couldn't get my shotgun up quick enough, and I missed the shot. And then they came around the side of this hill and like galloped maybe within 15 feet of me on the hillside. So I missed the shot. I missed the shot twice when I was out deer hunting in southern Ohio. I don't think Brad or Dave Benninger, who I was out hunting with, actually know that, because I think I told him like, no, nothing came across. Well, we heard you shoot. Oh no, I thought I saw something. I don't know. And it was funny when we spent all day hunting. Maybe get to be and we started at like 4 a.m. So it gets to be like 6, 7 o'clock at night. The sun's going down, probably in the winter, because I remember there was snow on the ground. The sun sets much earlier. So let's say like 5 o'clock, we're ready to pull out of there, and they're in this field right next to us. There's just 6, 7 deer standing there out in the open eating. We spent all day looking for one of these motherfuckers to kill. The whole stolen chainsaw story at Shawnee State Forest. Matt Morgan is a legend in those hills. I cannot shout this guy out enough. But, we're each masters of our own domain, I suppose. I'm sure there's a bunch of other stories. We can elaborate on this. But I have walked the dog around the block. And that is our walk. Thanks for walking with me.